Akawo. Good afternoon, comrade. Malaika. Good afternoon. Code. Malaika, you and your code language, eh? Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, Akawo. Thank you, comrade. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, everyone. And good evening to you for those of you joining us from Ground Zero. Please, if you are joining us from Ground Zero, don't put the city from which you are joining from. Just set Ground Zero. Don't put the city, please. Don't put your location. Just put Ground Zero. For those of you that are joining us from Ground Zero, please do not put your location. Just set Ground Zero. That's all. Christy Penda. Good evening, Christy. Grace Ajeli. Beautiful Grace Ajeli. As always. Thank you, Comrade Grace. Teves. All the way from UAE. The Khalifa city. That's right. Emil. Ngala. All the way from Ground Zero. That's right. I like that, Emil. Thank you. I like that. Von Trapp. Martin Ashu. Hello. Callista. Good afternoon or good evening to you, Callista. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Oh, wow. Ntui. Hello. All the way from Austria. You're watching from your job site in Austria. Thank you very much, Ntui, for taking time from your job to watch it. Saleh. Diodone. Hello. Good evening. Please go ahead and share and invite your friends. As always, better to read, big to read. So share and invite your friends. There is so much I would like to talk tonight. Okay? There's so much I want to tell you guys tonight. Oru Waters. Nice to see you once more, my friend. Nice to see you, Oru. Good to see you. Appreciate you all for joining us. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. Better to read, big to read. Thing that we want to know. All man get for know. Right? So go ahead, share and invite your friends. Alright? You're watching from the back side of your house. Hello. Ajela Giles. Comrade Jude Ebai. The one and only Jude Ebai. Good afternoon, comrades. 75 salutes. Thank you. Appreciate it. As always. Go ahead, share and invite your friends. Build the audience. We got better to read for talk. When I know say the whole weekend, I'll be there with the acting president, Dr. Samuel Sako, during the working visit for Canada here. So I'm going to bring when I do the updates about how that work can be passed and what happened today for move our revolution forward. So share and invite your friends. Because that's the only platform this way you will get the core leadership strategies. Right? Okay? Ambas, Bay. Please go ahead, share and invite your friends. We're going to start very soon. Let's build the audience. You guys know that. All right. Abongwa Israel. Okori Paul. Wow, Okori Paul. Chinedu. Chinwendu. All the way from Abuja, Nigeria. Okori Paul says, I love Ambazonia. Okori Paul from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you so much for your love for the Ambazonian people. Wow, Okori Paul. You watching us from Abuja, Nigeria. That's extraordinary. Thank you. When? Wow. Mondre. Puefu. Hope we are going to nail Milan at Anglophone today. Smith. Gwenson Smith. Palmas. Watching from Glasgow in Scotland. Glasgow. Wow. Oh, Laurentian Vabemo. All the way from Deutschland. Thank you very much. Sam Jokam. Oh, yes. Send messages to your friends. Share and invite your friends. Tell them your comrade is online. Tell them the strategist is online. It's time I give you guys an update of the president's trip to Canada. You need to know what happened, what's happening, and what's been decided to move our revolution forward. Come on, guys. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. Sam Jokam all the way from Germany. Chris Mokam. Hello. Chris. Please go ahead. Wow. Scholastica. Akenji. Stanley Akot. Stanley. So go ahead, share and invite your friends. We're going to start very soon, please. We are going to start very soon. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. Boss from Calgary. Tim Kane. That's right. From Abakwa City. Oh, yes. Ken Njikan, hello. So go ahead, share and invite your friends. Let's get started soon, please. They will join us. We're going to start in 2 minutes. All right? Pascaline, hello. Abdu Maikano from Germany. Zoo, hello. If you need any information from me, please let me know in confidence. Okori Paul, please go ahead and Okori Paul Chinwendu, please. Can you send me a message on my page or you send me a personal message? I would like to get in touch with you since you are in Abuja, Nigeria. Okay? Okori Paul, I'd like to get in touch with you. Send me a message. Just send me a Facebook message on this page or on my personal page, Lucas, on my personal profile, Lucas Asu. And let's keep in touch. I'd like to talk to you since you are in Abuja, Nigeria. We're just getting a message that Akuma Fru is dead. Not yet. Insala Design, Diodone, not yet. I don't have any information about that yet. All right. Yes. Good afternoon, my beautiful Amazonian people. We're going to start very soon. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. Let's get started. Better to plenty. To plenty, yo. To plenty. To flop. As soon as I know, say all weekend, from Friday till Sunday night, AIP be there for Canada here for visit, and we'll be there every moment, every minute, every second. For make sure to bring on the full details of those of what happened for Canada here to move our revolution forward. Peter and so, wow, a spokesperson, a Mambo. Good evening, Queen. Hello, good evening everyone. Hey, wow, you, Elvis, you said you're watching from a refugee camp life in Nigeria. Wow, refugee camp in Nigeria. Okay. Mujoko, what's your question? Send your question in, I'll answer it. Hello Diva, welcome. Woo! We're almost there, guys. Once we reach 100 people, we'll get started. So share as fast as you can to invite more people. Once we reach 100, we'll get started. Alright? Better to plenty, to flop my belly. Haha. We get for broken. Revolution get for move forward. So I go also the layout, the strategies them for what you go get for do along the way for move this revolution forward. So the faster when I share, invite your friends, the faster we'll get started. All right, we're almost there, guys. So keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. We're almost there. Once we hit 100 people, we get started. All right? I'm ready. There's so much I want to share today. Mojoko, what's your question? Go ahead. We're almost there, guys. So just share one more time. Hey, Quarendis. Max Ken, what's up, bro? Shumeri. Yeah. Better to radio. Haha. Invite all man. I go broke him. Max Ken. Biko. What's up, Biko Khan? We will start. We have 8 more people to go. We'll hit 100 and then we'll get started. Okay? So just share, invite your friends. Let's get started, guys. There's so much, plenty talk there where I want to talk. It's in the way come out for this, be accomplished with the achievement for this, for AIP trip for Canada here. All man will get to know what's happen, right? So when I share, invite your friends, so that at least we educate our people then. The work way, you know, the work way people that they do and for move our revolution forward. AIP the work tirelessly for move our revolution forward. So all right, we're almost there. One more. All right, better to radio. Ha! I will broke up today. Good afternoon, my people then. I salute all man. A beautiful Amazonian people will be free. Time not reach. Oh yes. That's good. Can tap it. Good afternoon, my fellow Amazonians. Good afternoon, Southern Cameroonians. In the spirit of the revolution, I salute you all. My brother, them, my sister, them, my papa, them, my mommy, they were there for ground zero. I don't come for salute them for this evening. For tell when I say the acting interim president, Dr. Samuel Sako, he be take waka, come out for America, come for Canada here, for can see the Amazonian people there for Canada. Make it talk for them directly. Make it consult with them. Make it hear from them. Make it hear what they get for tell you, and then what you go tell them about, you know, a government, what he do and for move our revolution forward, and what he be some thing the way they need the worker fine, where he want to make the worker fine, and what the world they think about us. Now they support us, now only they support we, and then what did happen, say, for ground zero, for say make we win this revolution, create a homeland. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, Southern Amazonians. Good evening, friends. Good evening, comrades. And good afternoon for those of you in North America. There's so much I'd like to talk tonight, or this afternoon, and this evening, depending on where you are. So share, invite your friends, tell them there's a lot people need to know. We need to educate our people. We need to help to inspire our people. And so this platform is specifically known for one thing, and that's leadership strategy and leadership psychology. So I won't spend time on gossip. That's not what this platform is about. This platform is about educating, empowering, inspiring, uplifting, and giving people the tools we need to successfully execute this revolution. Ritz Elias, welcome. Terence Leke. Wow, Susan Venaken, welcome, Susan. Welcome, everyone. So we'll start with the Amazonian anthem as always. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory, we the Amazonians who pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the heroes who bought the land with their blood. Glory to the glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making your nation a joy forevermore. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Good evening and good evening to you, to those that are on ground zero. Good evening to those that are in Europe. Good afternoon to those that are in North America. And good morning to those that are in Asia. I'm Lucas Asu. Let me tell you a story. There was a frog that lived on a very small hole. And one day, another frog that lives in the ocean decided to embark on a journey to see how the outside world looks like besides life in the ocean. And on its way, the frog that lives on the ocean discovered that there is a frog that lives in a very small pond, a little small hole, and decided to knock on the door of the frog that lives in this hole, and knock, and the frog opened the door, and said, "Come on in." He said, "Well, I'm sorry that you're visiting. I don't have much space for you to sit down, but can you just sit down on this little rock?" And the frog from the ocean sat down on the rock and looked around. I'm like, "Why is your place so small?" And the frog that lives in this little pond said, "Well, what do you mean?" And then said, "But where are you from?" So the frog that lives on the ocean says, "I'm from the ocean." Says, "What do you mean you're from the ocean? Is there any such a thing like the ocean?" Says, "Yeah." Says, "Look, here you have very limited amount of water. You don't even have good quality of air." Let me just take a moment and acknowledge our a brother, Ben Ojong. Welcome, Ben Ojong. Says you don't even have air. There is no water circulation here, This thing is very polluting. You can die in this little place, It says, "But how come you have such a limited life in this place?" He says, "Look, you don't understand. This is the only world I have ever known. This is what my world looks like. It's a beautiful place." And, the frog from the ocean says, "Look, I'm from the ocean. Where I came from," he says, "but where are you from?" He says, "I'm from the ocean." It said it's about 1,000,000,000 times bigger, or 10 trillion billion times bigger than where you are. It says, "Where I am, there is abundance of everything. There is abundance of life. There is freedom. There is liberty." And the frog that has been so used to this little tiny hole where there is lack of even oxygen says, "No, you are a thief. You're very deceitful. You're a con man, You're trying to deceive me so that I could come with you, so that you can take over my little, my place." And so the other frog from the ocean is trying to convince this other frog, says, "Look, if you come with me, you will have a better life. There is so much for you to do. There is so much for you to see. There is so much for you to eat. There is so much for you to experience. Life is vast. But your life right now is so limiting. You're living in poverty. You're living in a disease-filled environment. It is not good for your health. You may die and nobody will even know about you. And the frog that has been so used to poverty, it's resisting, change, suggestion for change. And so he said, so the frog that lives in the pond said, you're very deceitful. I think you just came here to deceive me. You better leave now. Go now. I don't want you here because you're trying to scam me, to deceive me so you can take over my place. And the frog left. 2 weeks later, says, let me go back and check on my friend. When he came back, the pond dried out and the little frog died. This is how some people think in this revolution. They've been so used to living without human rights. They've been so living in a dictatorial system. They've been so used to living in poverty and corruption and diseases and lack of freedom of expression, freedom of speech. They've been so used to living a limited life with police brutality, police terrorism, and that's all they've known. So for most of you that you've had a chance to have experienced some form of freedom, and when you're want to inspire and help them to also be free, you may encounter resistance. You may encounter confrontation. You may even experience almost a fight or arguments and quarrel. Right? Isn't that what's happening with a lot of our people today? That you're trying to help them to be free and you're experiencing all this confrontation and resistance? Let's leave the story there for now. We'll come back to it. I would like to take the time to welcome you all. I would like to take the time to honor those that are on ground zero, those that are in North America, wherever you are, wherever you've joined us from. Thank you and welcome. Niba Messi. Welcome, everyone. All right. Let me start out by sending a shout out to the following people. I want to thank the people of Canada, the amazing Amazonian people in Canada, for the hospitality and a very receptive welcome to the acting interim president, Dr. Samuel Sarko, throughout the last weekend. I also want to thank two specific people. Dr. Sam, the president of SCRO, Southern Cameroon Relief Organization, and the vice president, Hippolyte, for all they did in making sure the acting interim president, Dr. Sarko, had a good time, things were organized, and we had a successful, constructive, and productive working weekend. I also want to thank Dr. Sam's wife for a delicious dinner in hosting the president in their home on Friday night, and his entourage, and some of us, the private guest. And also Hippolyte's wife, who also made a very delicious, lavish, extraordinary dinner on Saturday evening. And we walked and ate. We had a very late dinner, almost around 1 a.m. at night on Saturday night. But I also want to thank the organizers of the event. I want to thank all the Southern Cameroonians that participated, that organized the event. People like Dinga, and all the Elvis, Julius, and everyone else who participated in making sure that this event was a very successful one. So I want to thank you all for your participation, for your discussions, and so I want to thank the people of Canada. So now, some of you have been asking questions, what was Dr. Sarko's purpose and visit to Canada? Why was it that a week after Dr. Ayabacho had visited Canada, Dr. Sarko is also coming to Canada? What's up with Canada that everyone is going to Canada? Well, there's something up with Canada that everyone is coming to Canada. because the Canadian people have a very unique system, and our leaders wanted to have a taste of what that is, that so that they can be able to model it. All right. So I'll be giving you a complete detail, some form of an analysis of the president's first foreign trip outside of the United States. I'll be talking to you a lot more in detail about that trip. And then I'll tell you some of the lessons learned and some of the achievements. What are some of the outcomes? What are some of the core key decisions that were made? So listen very carefully. Before we get started, let's share and invite our friends so that people can participate in this educational forum, in this inspirational forum. People need to understand the decisions that have been made and how it's going to significantly impact the revolution moving forward. All right? The better we are educated, the more we are informed, you know, the less fearful you are. Because a lot of people are so stressed and worried about the direction of the revolution because they are not participating where decisions are being made. They are not participants in the process, in the discussion process, in the interactive process, in the decision-making processes. So sometimes people, because of lack of participation, they are also left out. They don't have the information. They don't know the decisions that are being made. They don't know what's happening. They don't know where we are. So a lot of people are reacting instead of participating. All right. So let's change this by inviting people to participate. I was there from the beginning right to the very end. Okay. I was an active participant. I had a great privilege that I was invited to be in in all the private meetings, in all the private deliberations, in all the private discussions, and so that's why I even had the privilege, you know, to bring you guys constant update through, you know, mostly pictures because you know, videos were extremely prohibited in the event. All right, so let's get started. So the question is, why did Dr. Sako decided to come to Canada a week after Dr. Ayabacho had visited Canada? Well, as you may know, sorry guys, you know, I've been on the go, and I've not really had enough time to take care of myself, so it's catching up on me, and I'm, you know, I've had a day to be able to relax, rest a little bit, and eat some food and drink some water, and you know, go for a little walk. All right, so Dr. Sako came to Canada because Canada has the most unified base in this revolution. Ambazonians in Canada are the most unified. It's so unified. And so the base is solid and is strong. So it's almost like the stability and the pillar of the revolution. And that's why the leaders made it a point to take a trip here, visit the people, and really learn from them, you know, why they have, I mean, what have they done to be able to create such a solid base? That's one of the reasons. The more so is that Dr. Cho decided, Acting President Dr. Sako decided to also visit Canada, primarily to consult with the Canadian people, to talk to them, find out from them what's happening in Canada, also to tell the people where the revolution is, how the government is functioning, what are some of the decisions, what are some of the restructuring processes, where my trip to Boya is. And so the president on Friday night had a small group of people that he spent time with them. I was one of them. It was just very light conversations. On Saturday was the private working visit, where the executive of SCRO, Southern Cameroon Relief Organization, which is the biggest, the largest Amazonian organization in Canada, the primary umbrella organization, the president had a private face-to-face talk, a roundtable talk with this group and leaders of the community, leaders of some of the cultural organizations. And in this discussion, the president updated our people where things are diplomatically, in self-defense, my trip to Boya. The people had the chance to talk to the president and ask very tough questions. Our people, one thing that I really have to talk about Dr. Sako, I think Dr. Sako and Dr. Abacho, there is one thing that these two leaders have in common. These two leaders are very humble people. That's one thing that I noticed about these two leaders. I'll be talking a lot about this in my coming videos. But the first thing we noted was that Dr. Sako is so humble. This man is just very humble. And is very open to listen to other people, to taking advice from other people. And he's not even afraid when someone tells him that, maybe his policy may be wrong. So they had this open talk, which was a give and take of exchange of ideas. So there were two key things that were accomplished on Saturday through the private visits. And these private visits, they started from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to almost 11 o'clock at night. All right. So the president was very busy engaging with the people. Two things were the president, because when Dr. Abacho visited Canada, the Canadian people, Ambazonians in Canada, suggested, and Dr. Abacho agreed, that a conference to bring all the frontline leaders together, all the nationalist leaders of the frontline movement together, was agreed, and Dr. Abacho agreed on that conference. So when Dr. Acting President Sako also came, that proposal was put forward to him. There was a lot of deliberation, but at the end, Dr. Sako also believed it is very important for that conference to take place. And Dr. Sako also agreed that the interim government will send its own delegates to this conference. Dr. Sako had previously, maybe 4 or 5 days prior to his trip, his government had made a proposition that they will be calling for a conference for all the frontline leaders. So when Dr. Sako came to Canada, the leadership in Canada let Dr. Sako know to understand that this conference should not be organized by the interim government. It will not be proper because of previous mistakes. That the conference should not be organized by the interim government. The conference should rather be organized by neutral bodies, Canada, the US, and China. And so Canada, US, and China right now are taking the lead in organizing a conference to bring all the nationalist leaders together. And this is, a team of people right now across the globe are working right now tirelessly on the framework of this unity conference. All right. So you guys remember last week when I talked about there was a breakthrough in our revolution, and now I want to re-emphasize that breakthrough in our revolution now, it's been endorsed by the interim government. And this is very exciting because since the 4th conclave, nothing had happened to bring the leaders together in order for the leaders to evaluate where the revolution is and what must be done in a united collaborative front to successfully intensify the persecution of this revolution, and therefore quicken our process and the time it's needed to take us to Boya. All right. So why is this important? Listen out, listen out, listen out, listen out. This is significant. Here is why. The first reason why we need this, why this conference is it's important, and I'm very happy that all the leaders have agreed to this, is that, you see, the international community is watching very closely. The division we've experienced has slowed the revolution and the response of the international community, because they are very afraid. What if we support one group and the other group disagree on what we've agreed on? What if the interim government today, I'm just saying, what if the interim government had a negotiation or a dialogue, some form of a dialogue with, let's say, the United States, the UN, and La République du Cameroon, and then other frontline organizations that have, people on the ground said no to that kind of an idea. So this unity conference will achieve 3 very important things. Number 1, it will bring the nationalist movements together with the interim government on a unified structure where the nationalist movement, once all differences will be resolved, the nationalist movement will give the interim government the strong backing it needs. I'm going to come back to this point and emphasize why this is significantly important, especially now. Number two, it will also signal to the world that we are finally united and we speak with one voice. All right. Number three is that since the world is beating the drum of a negotiation with La République du Cameroon, the interim government does not want to go on a negotiation table by itself. Dr. Sako helped us to understand that should in case of any negotiation or through the conference, they will create that platform in which all the nationalist leaders will be able to draw in through their experiences the best experts in negotiation to negotiate for the Amazonian people on the terms of peaceful separation. So this is just extraordinary, all right? This is amazing. In the case that we should not have a South Sudan type of scenario whereby, after the negotiation, things fall apart. And so we are different. And that's why this conference is so instrumental, so significant. But another thing is that the moment we are united, the more we are united, the more it's going to help Ground Zero. The more it's going to help our people to feel a lot more safe, a lot more secure, because not only will resources be not only will there be an easy access to more resources, but those resources can be a lot more available. And then there will be a lot more intelligence that can be shared within these nationalist movements with, with the boys on the ground that are self-defending our families, our communities, our villages from poor beer genocide, the terrorism, and the war. All right? So that was one of the core key things achieved in the conference in terms of moving our revolution forward. The second thing that was achieved in the conference was the fact that the interim government helped the leadership in Canada to understand some of the challenges that the interim government itself is facing and what Dr. Sako is doing to create a more effective system in terms of the interim government. I hope you all remember that when Dr. Sako came in, what was in place, as much as it was almost a nationalist movement, but it had the spirit, in my opinion, this is just Lucas Asu's opinion, please. This is not the interim government opinion. Remember, what I'm saying here is me taking in from all the experiences over the weekend and then chunking it down in a way that I can be effectively communicate this to you guys, okay? Or transfer this knowledge to you guys. So this is Lucas Asu's opinion. This is not Dr. Sako's opinion. This is not the interim government opinion. This is just Lucas Asu's opinion, all right? So is that when Dr. Sako came in February, things were falling apart. In December, I hope you know that the arrest has taken place in Abuja, Nigeria, and there was a gap where we had no leadership. So when Dr. Sako took the helm of the interim government, things were falling apart. So he had to create a new structure or find way to bring in a new vision. And at the time, you also remember that the interim government, never had not come up openly to embark on a policy of self-defense. So when Dr. Sako came in, he saw the carnage on the ground and decided to say, look, as much as diplomacy is a good thing, there is something much more that will take us forward, that will get the world to pay attention to our revolution than just the diplomacy, than just the street protest, than just the school boycott or the ghost towns. He said something else is needed here. We can't just sit back and allow our people to be killed, to be slaughtered, to be murdered by the Bias regime. We have to do something different. So as a result, for the first time, the interim government came up openly and said, our primary strategy in executing the revolution now will be self-defense. And then he launched the initiative of my trip to Buea, right? So you can see the build-up of the events. So we were, it's known, I learned this weekend that when Dr. Sako proposed my trip to Buea as a strategy in order to help our people on the ground, the people that have been in the interim government, they rejected the idea. Oh, hell no! We can't take that approach. That approach is not good. It's going to destroy the revolution. And Dr. Sako says, in my opinion, from what is happening on the ground, from the killings that are taking place, from the genocide that is taking place, from the summary execution, from the massive arrest, from the Calais, from the burning of homes, we have to change our strategy. So this man took a radical approach and introduced a new strategy, which is self-defense. So he never had the support he needed within the previous administration, because he never had the time to bring in a new cabinet. As you guys know, he has not made any new appointments in terms of making changes in the cabinet. It's the previous cabinet that is still in place. So he had all these challenges. Now he's launched my trip to Buea. And here is this visionary man, this committed man, who had consulted with some of the top experts, and they've given the best advice that this is the way to go. Yet within his own structure, he never had the backings. And so now he has to take the plunge and start campaigning for my trip to Buea, to sensationalize my trip to Buea. So we have to give this man the credit that within 3 months, the world is now responding. Look at what it's been done on the ground in 3 months. Am I saying that he deserves all the credit? Not all. But let's give him the credit for what he's been able to do so far in inspiring this mass mobilization of self-defense. We also have to give the credit to the people of the SOCADEF and the ADF and the Tigers and all these other self-defense groups that are protecting our people. So this is extraordinary. So where are we now in terms of how important is this? So my trip to Buea is Dr. Sako's revolutionary spirit to move the revolution forward. So if you haven't contributed, I suggest you now know that this is a strategy to move the revolution forward. And so it's going to need your support as well. It's going to need your support. Okay? So if you haven't contributed, you still have time to do that. If you haven't contributed to the Tigers, you still have time to do that. If you haven't contributed to ADF, you still have time to do that. If you haven't contributed to the Tigers, you have time to do that. Because it's our primary strategy now. You all witnessed a few days ago the massacre that took place in the Santa area or Pini area. All right, where almost 41 of our boys, girls were murdered, were massacred. Whether from the news, what we are gathering so far, it's an Atangaji ploy to deceive our people and then massacre them. So we need to respond. And for us to do this, we have to understand the game and then advise our people on how they can best protect themselves. All right? On how they can best protect themselves. Because if our people are not protected, they're going to be killed. Just as they have been killing them. If our people are not protected, if we don't make the necessary sacrifices in giving the ADF the tools and the resources they need, we're not going to win this battle. If we don't give the Tigers the tools and the resources they need, we're not going to win this battle. If we don't give the SOCADEF the tools and the resources they need, we're going to be in this for a very long ride. I'm sure you don't want that. I'm sure you don't want the fact that this killing should continue. So in order to stop the killings, we have to intensify our strategy to defend every village. So that our boys, do not have to be using, ancient tools. Bare hands and cutlasses and hoes and, sticks, to fight a monster that is using very sophisticated weapons. And its entire operation or philosophy is to target anyone from 6 years old, any child from 6, any young adult, 6 to 13, from 13 to 45 and 50 and 60, they'll take them out. And they don't care, even if you're 90-year-old, they'll take you out. So we have work to do. So Dr. Sako helped us to understand that we have work to do. Dr. Ayabacho helped us to understand we have work to do. We can't sit by and watch a 90-year-old man, a man who has been in power for 36 years, going 37 years, a man who has, taken his country from one of the best in Africa to become one of the worst, a man who's now the #1 state-sponsored terrorism, a man who's now more vicious and evil than even Kim Jong-un, right? So Paul Biya of La République du Cameroon is not slowing down in his evil plans. It's not slowing down in his genocide. Doesn't care what the world thinks about him. He doesn't care whether he's going to go to jail or not. Atanganji Paul doesn't care whether he's going to go to jail or not. Laurent Esso doesn't care whether he's going to go to jail or not. Okay? These people do not care. All they care about, as much as their interests are protected, as much as their political future is secured, as much as all they care about is to protect their financial interest. So they don't care whether your children are killed, your mothers are killed, your fathers are killed, your brothers are killed, your sisters are killed. They don't care even if you're killed. As long as they have what it takes for them to continue to be the elites, that's all they care about. They don't have any moral values of humanity. They don't have any moral principles. These are people that do not know anything called the respect of law or human rights. They don't give a crap. All right? They don't give a fuck about any of those things. This is the mentality and the psychology of a dictator. And we must respond appropriately as a people. No matter how peaceful we are, we must respond to this viciousness appropriately as a people. If we don't, we'll have ourselves to blame. If we don't, the United Nations is silent. Most nations in the world are silent. The African Union is silent. We seem to be on our own. And we must take on the responsibility as a people. Just like the Jewish people, they took on the responsibility to make sure they have a homeland. As much as they were a persecuted people, right, that were being sent to gas chambers, they made a decision that we will create a homeland, we will restore our homeland, we will reclaim our homeland, and we will secure our homeland. And they never gave up, no matter the killings, no matter the genocide on them. No matter how much they were gassed and put into concentration camps, the Jewish people never gave up. They believe in their homeland. So Amazonian people, today I'm calling upon you that the time has come for us not to play the politics of just peaceful protest. We have to rise up to the occasion. We have been challenged as a people. A war has been declared upon our people. A genocide has been launched against us. This is the time for us to rise up as one people, under one purpose, under one mission, which is the full restoration of the independence of Amazonia and defend our homeland. And that's why we must come together as a people. We must defend our people. We must give them what they need. We don't only have to be talking, we have to make the necessary sacrifices. So invest in the ADF. Give the people of the ADF, give the Nchangshu boys what they need to flush out the terrorists, to flush out the Tanga and Jipol, to flush out the Biya government, to flush out the La Republic terrorists, we've been left on our own. And we cannot wait what happened in Rwanda to happen to the people of Amazonia. So Amazonia, you must invest in your own freedom. You must invest in the protection of your families. You must invest in the protection of the lives of your people. If not, we will not have a homeland. All right? All right. It's getting hot. I told you guys. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. Plenty to read there. Some other thing today I want to go into now, where I want to talk more. All right? So go ahead. Share and invite your friends. It's hot. I will talk on. We must move our revolution forward. Okay? Oh yes. We must move revolution forward. But cool down small. Temperature is hot. I get very passionate about this. Our freedom is at stake. Ernest, Fritz, Ophelia, hello. Hey, hey. Until I reach Boya, until I reach Boya, until I reach Boya, I will never leave my journey halfway. Until I reach Boya, until I reach Boya, until I reach Boya, I will never ever leave my journey halfway. Until I... Becky Nash. Until I reach Boya, hey! Until I reach Boya, until I reach Boya, I will never leave my journey halfway. Amazonians, we must finish this revolution. We must reach home. All right? So what will be needed right now? What do we need for speed up this revolution? What do we need? What do we need? Besides this conference where they come up, one of the most important thing we need them. This one that Lucas Asu, your opinion is. A lot of people then, what they do for inside interim government, when I pay attention very carefully, I will talk them from a leadership point of view. All right? I will talk them. A lot of people, they did for interim government. We don't see them say, they don't play three-side collars. We see them like say, you know, this Milan, after Milan, it think then we don't do them. Now for divide our people then. Now for weaken the energy of our revolution. And thereby, of course, Milan got the right for create a organization, okay? Don't get me wrong. Just like you, just like anyone, Milan got the right for create a organization. So, make our leaders, they not be afraid. Because a lot of people, they be so afraid. Say Milan don't create a poop or scope or whatever. Say don't create poop or scope, whatever they call the organization. Say Milan don't create this organization. Don't be afraid. Make Milan go ahead and create all the political parties and we need them. Of course, you know, probably they give them plenty of money, right? But if Milan create the organization and the people, the way that they work for interim government, where they get very core key positions, even if they get a jonjoro little position, even if they get a small structural position, even if that person didn't a receptionist, as long as you do work for interim government and you don't go join this other organization, whatever your intentions, whatever your purpose, today, Lucas Asu, the strategist, because we look at things from a very objective perspective, we not think, they say, some person there for CPDM, and then at the same time, you want to go join SDF, okay? You got to make up your mind which one you want to follow on. So, if you want to go join Milan Atam, then the people of Ambazonia go call upon their interim government, go stand behind their interim government, make every single person where you don't go join Atam Milan scope, make the leave our interim government. Every person, no matter that person in position, no matter the role where that person is playing for this interim government, no matter how intelligent that person be, no matter how brilliant this person be, the people of Ambazonia, they go rally behind acting President Dr. Sako for let go of these people, for give the interim government the energy, the dedicated people, the committed people, the passionate people would be interested only in the freedom of Ambazonia. Anyhow, with these people, they want to say, oh, Milan, the organization are this, you don't get anything for do the interim government, there is no conflict of interest. We don't give a fucking damn. We need people that want to be fully vested and interested in one thing only, in serving our people to their full capacities. No split energy. So, as a strategist, you know, if you be for two political parties at the same time, because there is conflict of interest, because as we know, things they don't be compromised. These people, their agenda, now a federalist underground agenda. They get a federalist underground agenda. If no man want to tell una, I go tell una today. Slowly, they dilute the energy of this revolution in order to promote an underground federalist agenda. Look at their track record. Look at their history. You go see all them. They get a very federalist philosophy. And so, now where Milano get a good footing for the interim government, all the people that will be bring them for the interim government, now then they bring this resistance, make this revolution not move forward, make the interim government not be as effective and as efficient and as impactful in order to move this revolution forward. So that make they continue to promote a federalist agenda. But interim government not make a position very clear. The interim government now a nationalist movement, now a nationalist government. So all the people, now my opinion this. My opinion, as a leadership strategist, as a coach, and he talks, say, look, if you want to do something, do it with all your heart. Okay? So the people, the way they get key positions for interim government, the people they get any position for interim government, as long as they don't get an affiliation, a relationship with Ata Milan, a new organization. Make the people of Ambazonia, they rally behind Dr. Sako, make it let go of all these people, may they go join Ata Milan. And make Dr. Sako appoint new people them, where they be 1,000% committed to the revolution, 1,000% committed to serving the people of Ambazonia, 1,000% committed to serving the interim government and persecuting the revolution. Or prosecuting the revolution. We know what people there, they play two-side collars. They can't take information for here, they go give for Ata Milan. and then may they scatter the interim government. The weekend was struggle. The weekend was movement. We don't want that thing again. Make any person find a place where it belongs. You want to go join Atta Milan? Fine. You get all the right for do them. You get all the right for do what you want them. Okay? Even if you want to go join Paul Biya, you get right. No money to hold you. But as a nationalist government, while people they say that thing is what they want them, we don't want anything where it get conflict, anything where it go dilute our revolution, anything where it go slow it down, anything where it go send the wrong mixed messages or mixed signals. So today I don't openly talk say any man, any woman where it is served for the interim government, where they work for interim government, where you get a position for the interim government, no matter your position, no matter how long you don't be for the interim government, no matter how good you be at what you do, as long as you don't come out, you talk, say, they say, you support Atta Milan initiative, you want to work with Atta Milan, you like what Milan they do, time don't reach for you for go join Atta Milan. And they talk this thing now because we get for save this revolution from the parasites. We get for save this revolution from the negative energy where they come for destroy this revolution. We get for save this revolution because if not be so, we know we ever reach for this boy. Now so Connie, they go start for push their federalist agenda. Think say one day, Pobia go wake up one day, say one give a two-state federation, and then they go start for jump, shout, say yes. No, but we tell now. Now they don't want to talk very openly. We know the plan, all right? We know, we did read the presuppositions, we did read the hidden messages, we did read the hidden agenda. So we get very honest and open with ourselves, all right? Why it be important? If the interim government it not make this, and if the people, they not give the interim government the support, you now want to listen right now. Openly, when I start for support Dr. Sako, make the changes. Alright? If not be so, make them not overthrow, make South Africa not overthrow the interim government, and they seize this government and make it a South African Milan Atom government. The people, they must take their government back. The one way they don't arrest them for Nigeria, that one don't correct. They don't create their own organization, that one don't correct. Where the people, they go for take their government back and bring in the people them where they really be committed, where they get a revolutionary mindset, they get a nationalist mindset, for carry we go boya, for make sure say that they work 24/7, for make sure say go boya. Not that these people they get two cycles, and now they don't come out. They said, by their fruits you shall know them, right? Not that me a talk, that's what they talk. It said, by their fruits, you shall know them. By their behaviors, you know them. Through their communications, you know them. Through how they behave, you know them. So now, they don't come out very openly. So why would he delay for make the necessary transformation? Why would he fear for call these people them out? So today, as a strategist, as a leadership coach, you want peak performance. You know when people then way they get 10% in, 90% out. It will kill your organization. It will kill the revolution. So now, please, whoever is sending me message, don't send me any message. You're listening to what I'm saying. You're understanding what I'm saying. People have been thinking about this. They're afraid to say it out loud. I'm saying it out loud. It is time for massive restructuring. Time don't reach for put the right people in place. Time don't reach for restructure the interim government. And I'll be very happy say this conference will go come up. It go help the nationalist leaders. They give the interim government the backing where it need them for make those necessary changes very quickly. Because right now, it like say, with the fear for make the changes, because with the fear, what if these people, what if we let go of these people and then they turn against the interim government? Don't be afraid, okay? Make you not be afraid of Atta Milan. Make you not be afraid of anybody. Make anybody go create your own organization. So leadership should not be afraid. The people should not be afraid, okay? Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for less skills, for more skills. So make you not wish, say, they not create any other group. Make they create a group then. But as a leader, now how effective If you spend more time for improve your own effectiveness in terms of persuasion, in terms of influence, in terms of communication, in terms of mobilizing people then. Because now the test of time this. We come out for a system where it is a competition all day. Alright? And as a result, there is so much inefficiency. There is so much, this mediocrity in terms of leadership. So when things like these organizations like Atta Milan, they don't come out, it requires a leader now. It requires leadership, make it be more persuasive, more influential, more decisive, more focused, more purposeful. So don't wish for less problem. Wish for more skills. Wish for more the ability to articulate, the ability to engage and mobilize your people. Then our people know what they want. But can leadership influence them, persuade them, and lead them through a strategic, through a compelling vision, through strategic communication? So don't worry about the distraction. People are only distracted if there is no leader, to influence, persuade, and impact them. All right? So don't be afraid. As long as we have leaders like, Dr. Samuel Sako, you have leaders like, Dr. Akwaka. You have leaders like, Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Ayabacho. You don't have to be afraid for Atta Milan creating an organization. Let them create their federalist movements. Let the nationalist spirits be strengthened. All right? Don't be afraid. Don't be so caught up in this Atta Milan drama. Don't be caught up. We have to make the honest decisions that this is what we want. And the people that do not want to serve our people should get out, and the right people should be appointed. This is the conversation we need to be having. Don't be so weak in terms of your leadership in which you want to baby people. Are you begging people to do something they don't want to do? When there are even more qualified people, more passionate people, more dedicated people that can even do the job 10 times better? Come on. What are we afraid of? Come on, my people. This is the conversation we need to be having. And that's why I'm proposing this. And that's why I'm now going to be speaking more about this. It's time for transformation. It's time for those that have not made up their mind yet to get out, find something else to do, and let competent, intelligent, committed, dedicated, focused, passionate people, faithful, loyal, be appointed. We need an effective, smart, impactful government. We don't need a government with just, people that just want titles. But they go behind and collect money in other missions, and then they come and slow things down. And we don't want to talk about it. And this is our problem. So someone better speak about it, and I'm doing so now. All right? So I hope this conversation has been very helpful to you. Speak out about this. Call your government. It's time for reforms. It's time to let go of the people that have no interest in serving the interim government. Let go of the people that are polluted, of people that have been compromised. Let go of people that are too psycholas as they talk out. It's time. It's time we get real. Our people are being killed. We don't have time for all these paparazzi and political games. All right? I'm Lucas Asu. So I hope with all my craziness, I hope with all my integrity, I hope with all my will, I hope with all my heart, I've been able to pour it out today. I've been able to serve you with all the honesty that I can. All right? There's no mamsy pants in here. We need to get real. Get real. So don't be afraid. All right? We can get things done. We just have to do the right thing. Put the revolution first. Put our people first. Put Ambazonia first. Anyone who's not committed and interested and passionate and loyal and dedicated should get out. And the people that are passionate, dedicated, loyal to the mission, loyal to the purpose, loyal to the Ambazonian people, loyal to our freedom, those are the people that need to be serving us. All right? There's no more time for political games. There's no more time to baby people. There's no more time to just wait for things to happen, all right? People that do that are victims, all right? Victims wait for people to happen to them, for things to happen to them, all right? If you're a champion, you're a winner, all right? You're someone who decide what you want, you go after it, and you put the right people in place, put the right team in place, put the right attitude in place, put the right values in place. We have a lot more competent men and women that can do this, all right? So don't be afraid of Atta Milan and whatever he's creating, all right? I hope this conversation has served you. And in the next 5 minutes, So Foncha of the chairperson of ASC will be live. I would have loved to take some questions in honor of So Foncha being live. I'd like everyone to go watch and listen to what he's going to say. I also want to watch and listen to what So Foncha is going to say. All right? So I hope I've inspired you enough. I hope I have triggered your own courage enough. I hope now you can support your interim government. I hope now you know what we need to do. I hope you're looking forward to the conference that is going to bring together all our nationalist leaders. I hope you know you are excited about the big things coming. I hope you're excited about the unity that is coming, because we need it. The moment we have that unity, it will be a game changer in our revolution. And that's why I'm very passionate about this. So the leadership, whether it's the interim government, should not be afraid of this conference. Whether it's the people of AGC or LCY, they should not be afraid of this conference. Let all of them meet, right? And create a new framework of unity, of collaboration, and how this frontline movement could have their rightful place in whatever new structure that comes up in making the core key decisions, including appointments, including negotiations, including funding of the resistance, including defending our homeland, including treaties, including raising money, including education, and freeing our people. So have yourself a great evening, and I appreciate the time you've taken to spend with me, to have this live chat with me. Everything expressed here is the opinion of Lucas Asu, and this platform is not the opinion of any organization or the visit of the acting interim president. Everything that is expressed here is the opinion of Lucas Asu and Southern Cameroon's leadership psychology platform only. All right? I'm just proposing. I care, I love, and I live and I serve on purpose and integrity. No fucking bullshit. Okay? Love you guys. If you have any question, send me a message, send me a question. Find my phone number. Be respectful. I would love to talk to you constructively, but I don't have time for arguments. I hope you know that. Have yourself a great evening. Thank you, guys.